Hello everybody, I'm Shelly and this is Comfortably Blind. So, a couple of weeks ago there's this little secondhand store. It's kind of, to look at it from the outside, it looks more like a eclectic collection of junk. But he always seems to have like some kind of camera. And that's where I got the last one, the Belda Glorina, and also I got the red rainbow folding camera and the black folding cartridge Primo from him. So he also had, last time I was there, he had a Kodak Vigilant 6.3, like the one I already have. I think there's a video down here somewhere. Yeah, there's a video down here somewhere. And but this one, I think he wanted $49 for it, but the bellows was really quite holy. He went to church every Sunday. It was quite holy. So I didn't get it. But this little beauty was sitting right next to it. Now what this is, see if we can catch the light on. See if we can catch the light. This is a Kodak Rainbow Hawkeye, not to be confused with Hawkeye, but a Hawkeye #2, which is important, Model C. Now, the important thing is the number two means that it takes 120 film. Hopefully looks like it is. It takes 120 film, which for Kodak is really kind of few and far between, because they like to sell their own film. I don't know if I'm going to shoot this, so I didn't bring anything to load, any film to load in it. I don't know, maybe if I find some really cheap film, I'll give it a shot. But, and what I've done, I've taken this apart for the most part. I've taken this apart and I've cleaned the viewfinder, which is amazingly tiny. And I don't know if you can see the break in the glass there. But the glass here, which is frosted a bit, was busted, and so I just took like a whiff of super glue, glued it together, and there's like a little slot in there that the glass fits in, and the back up here is all glued in all the way around, but this kind of hangs out there. Same with the mirror. And so before I did that, hi. See my hand, so it's really not that bad of a viewfinder. Before I did that, I wiped it all down with alcohol, and then dipped a Q-tip in some glass cleaner and cleaned it again, and I got it so it's got that much. Now these older ones have this really tiny little viewfinder. I don't know, I think I've got a video on my Art Deco one that's got like a viewfinder here that comes out front, and then another one here that comes out front for landscape and for portrait. But this one is an incredibly simple camera, and it's the Rainbow Hawkeye, which I don't know if the color comes through, but it's a really dark green, and this one actually is really clean. There's like no rust on the keepers and no rust on the winder, and it still actually has the handle, which I'm not going to be carrying it around by, because most of these don't have the handle anymore. But so this one, the green Rainbow Hawkeye #2, because it takes 120 film, which makes it so easy, you don't have to make your own film. It's from right around 1930, so being that this thing's 90 years old, and still in this good a shape is kind of a testament. And they gave these out to like kids. They actually gave them these cameras, and some kind of drawing, I don't know, wasn't around back then, but yeah. So you have your shutter release here, and it's one of those ones that it fires the shutter on the downstroke and fires it again on the upstroke, and you can kind of see the spring in there. If we catch the light just right, and it looks like, from what I can research, they said something about a 30th of a second is the shutter speed. It sounds like it might be faster on the upstroke. So maybe the downstroke's 30 and the upstroke is, it's not supposed to be that way, but sounds like it's a little quicker. So there's no aperture. There's, you know, like my Art Deco one, you can pull up on a thing here and change the aperture to one other aperture, and then over here you have a lever that you can pull out to go like bulb mode, so it would stay open until you flipped it back up, or it would stay open until you flipped it back down, depending on where you started from. And it was just like a little catch in there. This one, I tried to clean out the lens as best as possible, but yeah, I wasn't going to. I really didn't want to pound the nails out of it in the first place, and I can't remember if it's missing, if it was already missing this nail, or if I've lost it. And what I should have done was gone to Lowe's or something and picked up some brass nails. That would have been really awesome. But now, the way you load this bad boy, I'm not actually going to load film in it, but there's a trick to gaining. It's not really a trick. If you don't know, I guess it's tricky. So these here and this is what holds it together. So what you want to do is you slide this over to the side. It's got like a little oblong where you put it over the nail and push, and it holds it together. There's that one, and then this one over. Now before you can pull this apart, you have to disengage your winder. And the winder's on a little one-way, so you can't rotate it this way, but you can rotate it this way to wind the film on. So then you have to, as you're winding it, pull out on the handle, and then it'll come apart. And you can see the winder here, and it goes in. You can push it in and pull it out. And what that winder does is catch on. This is your take-up reel. And usually what you do, this is actually an old full steel Kodak film, a full steel winder reel. They're plastic now. So what you normally do when you put your new film here, roll it up and over, and wind it all on this, then you take the spool that's inside the new film that you just shot, and you flip it over to this side. Then you line it up to with the hole. This one has like a little spring-loaded dilly, so you want to pull out on the spring-loaded dilly a little, and then it catches the hole, and then you line up the hole with the other side of the hole with the hole here, and it usually will pull it in anyway. And then you put your new roll in here, up over the top, and then feed it in through here. Roll it a couple of times with your hand because there's really no way to crank it. Or what you probably end up doing is putting it in here and then taking this reel out. Come here, you. And like rolling it on here and then pulling it over. And pulling it over, pull your little keeper out. Drop that bad boy in place. Then when you're done, you make sure your holes are at least a little lined up. And these are little tensioners to keep tension on the film. little springy deals. Then when you're done with, then when you're ready to, you got your film loaded in there and you're ready to go back together, take your sight glass, goes right with the strap, you slide it in, you take your little keeper dills, and this one's, I put the nails in a little too tight when I was going back together, but it seems to work. Maybe I will shoot this. I always shoot everything. Always shoot it at least once, right? But anyway, so then you lock that into place, or some semblance, and then you take your winding knob, and as you're winding it, and it gives you an arrow, which way it goes, and as you're winding it, you go in and catches the spool, and then you count. This is when you come up with number 1, that's your first shot. And this looks like it takes 6 by, I don't know, maybe 6 by 9, 6 by, I don't know, 6 by 6, 6 by 7, something like that. 6 by 7. So you probably get, I don't know, 12 shots out of this. I haven't tried it yet, but you probably get about 12 shots out of this. And they're not going to be beautiful. What you probably want to do is rig you up a little stand, and what I did was I took a board and drilled a hole in it, and then went and got a 1/4 inch wooden insert for the 1/4 inch thread, and then put some of that rubber shelf liner on it, so I can mount that board to a tripod, and then I can set this on top of it, and you can go, you know, that rubberized stuff will keep it from wanting to fall off. But, and then that should stabilize it as best it's gonna be. And then look down through your viewfinder. It's not even trimmed, the viewfinder. These were giveaways to kids, so get them into film photography. Don't you wish Canon would do that, or Nikon would do that now? Right. Anyway, so then you take your picture, and if you flip it up, don't flip it back down, because it'll do a double image. The shutter is not connected to the winder at all. So you could sit there and keep taking image after image after image after image until the negative is completely white because of all the light. But so just flip it down or up depending on where you're starting from, unless you put your hand over it and then flip it back the other way. So like I said, I think it sounds like there's different speeds between up and down. It's probably because this thing's 90 years old and you'd have different speeds in you as from up to down. But anyway, I guess that's enough of that. I think I will throw some film in this and go shoot it one of these days. Again, probably down in my comment box, or not comment box, but down in the box would have my Instagram. If you haven't checked that out, I've got quite a few pictures in there, and so I'll be adding more. It's kind of a pain because I've got all my pictures on a hard drive, but I can't do it with my computer. I can't download pictures or load pictures onto my Instagram with my laptop, so I have to do it with either my phone or my tablet, which means, yeah, whatever. Anyway, until next time, hopefully I can keep these videos coming at least one a week. Things seem to be evening out. Until next time, keep shooting.